Well, only 29 out of 133 UK universities have adopted this IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, according to a Freedom of Information request carried out by the Union of Jewish Students here in the UK. And that low number there that was referred to by Gavin Williamson, the Education Secretary, in his letter to universities insisting that they should adopt this definition of anti-Semitism, is really down to the issues over whether or not freedom of speech is something that universities feel is worth defending and protecting, even at the expense of looking after Jewish students who feel that they are increasingly open to anti-Semitic attacks and anti-Semitic behaviour within their campuses. Certainly plenty of students in the UK do feel that way, Jewish students, of course, in particular. Now, it's worth refreshing our minds over what the IHRA definition actually says in order to understand what is going on in this story a bit deeper. The IHRA definition is there to help people decide what is and is not anti-Semitic, should there be an incident or some sort of controversy on a campus or elsewhere in perhaps a political party, for example. The definition says that anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. So that seems relatively harmless as far as definitions of anti-Semitism might be concerned. But what particularly offends some people is the list of 11 examples given by the IHRA, which they say form a fundamental part of the definition as well. And they sometimes argue that those examples limit their freedom of speech in other areas.
And Williamson also issuing a warning that he would consider suspending funding streams for the universities where there are anti-Semitic incidents and those that have not signed up to this definition that you've just given, that before Christmas as well. He's given a deadline. How is this likely to be received by universities in the UK?
Well, it's certainly interesting because this is a government that says it stands up for freedom of speech, both on campus and elsewhere in life. So something like this could be seen by critics as going against that belief, perhaps limiting people's freedom of speech, even to say things that are racist, anti-Semitic, or offensive in other ways. And what many have held out, those critics against this definition, held out with, is the idea that they feel this prevents them from criticizing Israel. The reason they say that is because among the 11 examples are some which say things like comparing Israel to Nazis should be considered anti-Semitic. Of course, the definition doesn't, however, forbid any criticism of Israel in non-racist terms.